Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Tupperware talk here on this Wednesday night. And my name is Ellen, and I'm the host of the evening. And I'm going to be talking tonight with Gina Arnold, and I'm so excited to be talking with Gina tonight. I have been in personally about me really quick. If you have never watched this before, I've been in Tupperware about 14 years, and it has been such a huge it's made such a huge impact on my family. It's made a huge impact on my family financially, but also as a family, right? Because if mommy ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? As the saying says, right? You can say the same thing about dads, right? If dad isn't happy, nobody's happy, right? And so before Tupperware, I was really always stressed about money. I was always stressed about money. And probably the first 5 years I was in Tupperware, all I thought was about money. And I was listening to somebody talk the other day, and they were talking about running numbers in their head. And I used to run numbers in my head all the time. I'd sit at stoplights running numbers in my head. I would have panic attacks leaving the grocery store if I spent more than $100 because I was like, did I have that $100? Even though I knew that I had the $100, it was like, was that supposed to go to something else? Right. And so that is kind of what Tupperware has provided for my family, is that peace of mind, that calmness when you know that A, you have enough, right? And B, if you don't have enough, you can make more. That was huge for me to just kind of like recognize, like, okay, it's okay that I don't have enough for this right now, but now I have a goal and I can make this money before whenever it is due. So that is such a huge thing. If you've ever been stressed about money and anything like that, to have that weight taken off is so significant. Like, it really is. So before we jump into this with Gina, I just wanted to say, if you're watching as a guest, please say hello in the chat and say who invited you. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them there in the chat. We'll be asking questions right at the end. We'll be kind of going back and forth with some questions. So please, if you have any questions, ask them right there in the chat. And if you are joining us after the fact, go ahead, hit replay. You can type replay in the chat and say hello to whoever invited you. And then you can also still ask some questions. But I always recommend, if we don't answer your question for some reason, maybe we don't see it, or you're watching the replay or anything like that, or you have additional questions afterwards, right? Go back to the person that invited you here, the person that shared this with you. If you don't have a person, if you stumbled on this, because it's a public page and we have a lot of followers, if you don't have a person, just send a message, and Pam, who is in charge of this page, will get you hooked up with the right person. All right. So that being said, I am here right now with the right person. I'm so excited. So I'm excited to be talking to Gina here tonight because, we have meetings, we have training meetings and things like that. I would say one of the most consistent people on those meetings is Gina. And I love seeing her face on our meetings. And she's just a sponge. She's just learning all the time. And I just absolutely love that about her. So Gina, before we get started, remind me, are you a manager in Tupperware?
I just promoted the end of December.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought you were a new manager. And so for everybody watching,
Yes.
manager is our first level of leadership. And so she has promoted to that level. So that's very exciting. That means she just has a unit that she's working with to kind of grow the business together. So that's very exciting. So let me ask you, how long have you been in Tupperware?
Since the end of October of 2020.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just a little over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And so why Tupperware? Why did you say yes to Tupperware?
Well, I sold, this is my second time. I sold back in the early 90s, and I loved it. And I don't know why I left, but I guess just life in general. And then my husband passed away, and it was like all of a sudden. And so I just felt like I was drowning, and I didn't have, my friends lived away because we were military. And so my daughter-in-law invited me to this party that she said was a friend of hers that used to work with her. And it happened, it was a mega party with Jessica. And all I said was, so I think I asked her, well, how is it now? And it's like, then all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I'm signing up for my kit. And I mainly came in for friendship, to build friendships so that I had a link to somebody. Because a lot of times I have my grandson and he's 9 now, but it's not like having an adult conversation. So I came in to be able to communicate with adults. So it's been exciting. So that's why I came in this time.
I
And
love
it's
that.
changed a whole lot. It's a lot better than it was in the 80s, the 90s.
I love that. Yes, I was not in Tupperware in the 90s, but I have heard a lot about it over the years. Being in Tupperware 14 years, you talk to a lot of people that used to sell. Our business leader sold in the 90s. There are some champions that sold in the 90s that are still here selling. Blah, blah, blah. My tongue's a little tied tonight. That are still here selling. And so I have heard a lot about the experiences, and yeah, it is definitely different. It's even different than it was 2 years ago. I mean, Tupperware has definitely
Yeah.
evolved through all of life's evolving over the last couple years. So I
Right.
absolutely understand wanting to have adult conversation. I have an almost 9-year-old in the house as well. And yes, you definitely need an outlet beyond that. It's wonderful that you have that.
Yes.
But you do need some adult conversation. So that's wonderful. I
Yeah.
love that. I have known many people over the years that have come to Tupperware for friendships. And I've known many people over the years that have turned to Tupperware when they're going through a big life change, whether it's a good one or a bad one.
Right.
And so that's definitely one of the perks that Tupperware offers is that community, right? That sense of community.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, especially here at Champion. I mean, we tried to
It's
really
been
make sure,
wonderful.
yeah, everybody feels that everybody is welcome. So I'm glad that you feel that.
Yes,
All right.
I do.
So you kind of touched on this. What has been your experience so far? So far, it has felt welcoming to you. Is there anything else?
Well, and then I realized that it wasn't the Tupperware that I sold in the 90s. It's like so much better. And then it's like I just had to have everything. I was like wanting it all. So the discount's been wonderful and the samples and all that good stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's like all excited me. But um the only thing that's really I I was watching a interview with you one night, and I didn't want to become a manager. I just wanted to sell. I just wanted to do my little thing. And then you made a comment when you came in, you wanted 6 figures. And I was like, damn, it just clicked with me. And I was like, why can't I do that? So something changed, and I was like, it just has happened. And it's like, then Jessica got on and she's like, congratulations, Gina, you're a new manager. And I'm like, oh my God, no. And it's been just wonderful. And it's like, it's changed the way I look at life. It's changed everything. I'm more excited. I don't know. It's just been different. It's just been wonderful.
Oh my
So,
gosh, I just love that. I just love that. You know what? And you're right. I did. I absolutely came in for 6 figures because I knew it was possible. I knew other people that made that kind of money in a business like this. And I thought, why not me? That's exactly kind of,
mm-hmm,
you were like, well, hey, I could, I want that too.
right. So
Absolutely.
I took a post-it note and I put, I 6 figure income. I got this. And it's on my bathroom mirror. So I see it every day.
I love
So
that. I love
it's
that
been,
so much. I love that. I used to have Post-it notes everywhere in the house. We don't really have that many right now. I'm not
mm-hmm,
sure why. But anytime like I'm going up against a big goal, or maybe for whatever reason my belief is kind of faltering a little bit because it ebbs and flows, honestly. And so sometimes when I'm like, I can feel it kind of slip in, or my I'm not feeling as courageous or just as confident as I normally am, I start doing that. I put the post-it notes up. I do my affirmations. So I do my affirmations all the time. But
Yeah.
the post-it notes are like when I really like, I need it. I need it in front of my face all the time. So
Right.
that's wonderful. I love that. I love that. So let me ask you. So for the people that are watching, right? There's somebody probably out there watching, who is like, I don't know, yeah, this all sounds great, but maybe I'll do it like after the kids graduate, or when the kids move out, or when I retire, or whatever, whatever the circumstances is. So what would be your advice to them as to why now is a good time to start Tupperware?
Don't wait. Do it now. It's if you don't do it when you got that urge, you're never going to do it. So you do it now. It's like, why not right now? So I say, just jump right in and take it by the horns and go with it. And whatever you're waiting for, you're probably going to fix it in the few months that the first few months that you're in Tupperware. So I think do it now. Don't
I
wait.
love that. I love that. A lot of times people wait for the right time, or they wait to have the right skills, or
Yeah.
they wait to have all those things in place. And I've been listening to this training and they're like, do it messy. Like, do it messy. I mean, actually, there's no
Right.
better time to do stuff messy, because right now that's what appeals to people. Realness, right? Realness appeals to people. Making mistakes, not being perfect, not being polished, all of that like really appeals to people. And people see people do things like that and they're like, well, I think I could do that, or I think maybe I could do a variation of that, right? Jessica says in the chat, messy is real. Messy is real. It is real life, because guess what? Real life is
That's
messy
right.
and it's hard, and it's okay to not be perfect. I think now more than any time in the history of life, it's not more accepted to not be perfect, I think, which is really great for us, right? Trying to learn new
Right.
things and putting ourselves out there and all that kind of good
Exactly.
stuff. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Let's see here. I see we have a couple guests on. So go ahead and put those questions in the chat if you have questions. But while we are just kind of keeping an eye on the chat, I am going to answer a couple questions that are normally come in, right? And one of them is, how much money can I make? And that question, a couple, some of the questions that people ask all the time is really kind of put back on you. It depends upon what you're wanting out of it. I've had people that come in and they're just wanting to be able to pay for their kids' sports, right? Maybe their kid's on a travel team. Maybe their kid just, take some sort of a lesson, or you take a lesson, right? Maybe you take sewing lessons, dancing lessons, painting lessons, anything like that, that you don't want that extra stuff to come out of your household budget. And so I've known people that come in just to make $100, $200 a month, and that's what they do. And when I say, how much money can you make, and I say it's up to you, because it is, your goals are our goals. And so if you come in wanting to make six figures like this girl, right? Then we have goals for you. We have a path to get you there. We have things that you can do to start working towards that. But if you come in just wanting, to make a car payment, you don't want the car, you need a new car, and the car payments, you don't have the money in the budget for it, and you just need, $300, $400 for a car payment, that's absolutely achievable as well. So we have different roadmaps depending upon how you're going to get there. And even, you could have different roadmaps for the same dollar amount too right now, because business is very different. Everybody's working the business very different compared to a couple years ago, but it depends upon whatever their lifestyle is. If they're working around small children, if they're working around another job, whether it's outside of the home or inside the home, everybody has different things that they're trying to work around. And so Tupperware now more than ever has so many different avenues to get you to wherever you want to go. So how much time will it take? So again, that is also kind of a question that you kind of we turn back on you, is how much time are you wanting it to take? Because if you're wanting to make a six-figure income, or if you're wanting to make, $40,000 a year, $50,000 a year, that's going to take a little bit more time, and so, but that's something we talk about together and we work out, right? But for the average person that wants to do 1 to 2 parties a week, right? And 1 to 2 parties a week will get you anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month, sometimes even more than that, depending upon your party average. As you kind of hone your skills and you get really good at doing the party thing, it can easily be $1,500 a month for doing 2 parties a week, right? And so when you're 2 parties, 1 to 2 parties a week is only a couple hours a week. So you think about that. Even if you made $500 a month, there are very few part-time jobs that you could work a couple hours a week and make $500 for your family. And so that's really huge. Something else that people ask, is there training available? Oh, yes. Oh, do we have training for you? We have all kinds of training. We have step-by-step training. We have on-demand training that you can binge watch. We have training if you like a schedule. We have training on Monday nights and Thursday nights. And then we have various things to help assist you in your business. We even have a copy and paste group. And the copy and paste is what that means is when, if you're going to do a Tupperware party, if you're going to work your business online and you're going to do Facebook parties, we have all the posts already made for you. And all you have to do is copy and paste them into your parties. So if you're coming into this and you're like, I don't know how to market my business online. I don't know how to, make graphics. I don't know how to do any of that. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. We have a lot of support for you to work your way through that. And then I guarantee you, at some point, if you're working an online business and you're doing good with it, right? At some point, you're going to be like, all right, now I want to make my own graphics, right? Now I want to do, because you're going to get all these ideas and you're just like, oh, I have this really great idea, but I need a graphic for it, or I need help creating it, right? And so so we help you with that too. So we have so much training available, that's, whatever it is. And not to mention Google. Hello, I I Google things probably 2 dozen times a day, especially when I'm learning something. Right now, I'm learning new technology and some new social media platforms. And let me tell you, Google is my friend. I Google things. I Googled just trying to do one thing today. I had to Google 3 different videos to watch to figure out the one problem I was having. Right. So there's lots of stuff available for you, whether it's inside of Tupperware, inside of Champion, which is our company inside Tupperware, or just online, right? Awesome. Awesome. All right. So we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. But Gina, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm so
Thank
excited.
you.
You are definitely a rising star in this company. And I absolutely love seeing your face on all of our Zooms and things like that. It just
Thank
brings
you.
me such joy. You always look happy, and you
I
always
try.
look interested, right? Because not everybody looks interested. But you always look like you're taking it in and you're taking it to heart.
Oh,
And
and I'm writing it down too.
I just love that. Me too. I am a massive note taker. And I have right
That's
here at my
me.
fingertips, I have so many notebooks and notebooks of notes just right here
That's
in my
me too.
yeah, and then I recently switched to digital. Like, so I'm actually like typing everything in as I'm taking my notes and stuff. And it's just and that was just because I'm like, I can't take any more notebooks. I've got to find anything. It's like, which notebook was it in? I just start flipping through
Mhm.
everything. So I was like, you know what? Let's try a digital platform and see if that works, which is way out of who I am. I am a
Right.
pen and paper girl. Here's my paper planner. Okay. I'm a pen and paper girl, but I'm trying this out, right? Because, sometimes some good things can happen when you try new things.
That's
Sometimes.
right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gina, again. And I'm sure sometime in the near future we will have you on here again so you can share with us how far you've come in your journey since today.
Okay.
So,
Thank you for having me.
of course, I absolutely love it. Bye, everybody. We will see you next week.